Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us today. I have a card that I've got to show you today, and it's this one here. This is a very bright and happy and sunny card, and it's featuring the amazing new stamp set, which is it's called Ridiculously Awesome, and this is the $1 Million Stamp Set, which was designed in conjunction with Rhonda Wade, and the artist was actually Sean Douglas, who is the spouse of the CEO Sarah Douglas. So it's got some awesome graphic images, and this is the one I used today, as you can see. This one here, You Are My Sunshine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through how I put this card together. Of course, when I'm showing you how I made it, I'm going to make a few changes on this, and let's get right underway. So this card here features the new in color, one of the new in colors, Bumblebee, and today I'm going to make it with one of the other new in colors, Cinnamon Cider, but I'm also going to be using some Bumblebee because the word sunshine lends itself to being in Bumblebee. So I'm going to mix it up by using two of the colors. So I have Cinnamon Cider. I'm going to be, actually I'll leave that there. I'm going to be stamping in Cinnamon Cider, and I'm going to be using two sheets from the Designer Series paper in color stack. So I'm going to use Bumblebee as well as Cinnamon Cider. So yeah, let's get right underway now. So first of all, what we're going to do, I already have cut this to a normal card base. This is half of a sheet of A4. So if you're making it in another, in Imperial, this will be half of a sheet of letter and just scored down the middle. So that's quite easy. You'll see that I made this one a side opening card. So again, we're going to change it up. So the first thing that we're going to do is just cut these sun rays. Now this type of technique is called the starburst technique, and lots of people have been doing that for a long time. But again, as I mentioned, the sentiment really lent itself to highlight it being a sun. So let's do that. I'll grab my Stampin' Up trimmer, which is very good. As you'll see, you might not be able to see, but I'll just show it up a bit higher. You can see that I have this guard over the top is actually in centimeters, and that's now available from our online store. It comes with this little arm thing in inches, but there's an addition that you can get so that you can see exactly how far you're cutting. So that's really good. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some paper, I'll do it one color at a time. I'll put some paper through and just cut it at an angle. And I want it to be cut on the longish side. Yeah. So that's as difficult as it gets. Wow, isn't that really hard? The great thing about this paper is that it's double-sided, so I can use either side. This side here is the dotty side. This other side is more like I guess it's called denim. And the Cinnamon Cider version that I'm using is actually the other design that comes in the set. Now I might not need all of these pieces, but that's okay. So this one here is the wood grain type, and this one here is the text type, and I'll use all of them. Excellent. So I'm pretty sure that that's all I will need for that. So I'll just put that over to the side. So these are the pieces that I'm going to use. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, well, I'll show you. What I have is a layer of Whisper White, and then on top of that, I have another layer of Whisper White, which has been trimmed. And this piece of Bumblebee is stuck to that piece of Whisper White. So I might do that first. I have a piece of Whisper White, and I'll just stick that, and that's, I guess you can call it the ground line. And I will cut this down, so it doesn't matter that it's not the same size. So I just have some Tombow here. Just apply some glue. And I will stick that down. I'll stick it as close to the bottom, and I'll just trim off the other edges, if that makes sense. So now what I want to do, of course it's too long, but that's okay. What I want to do is I want to alternate in colors and alternate in patterns. So I'll have, that can go right down like that. Then the next piece will be Bumblebee. Then the next piece will be Cinnamon Cider, but the other pattern. And the next piece will be the denim design. So get that? So I've run out of cinnamon cider pieces, so I might just cut 2 more. So what I might just do is I might just make sure that this piece and this piece meet in the middle, just so that I can have it centrally located. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue them down. So let me carefully move that up. Oops. And I'll just get to gluing. Now just a note that this is going to be covered by ribbon, as you can see on this one here. So it doesn't really matter what's happening there. Now again, I used the whole idea that when I started doing the Scrappy Strips card, which so many of you have done examples of, and we're really grateful that you share those with us. When I did Scrappy Strips, the idea was using scraps. And so by all means, you could do something like this with your scraps as well. I started with a normal piece of designer series paper, so that's not necessary for you to do that. But by all means, you can use whatever you have. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now, looks a bit messy, so what I'm going to do, keeping in mind that this is all going to be covered, but first of all, what I want to do is trim this down. Now, if you use our card templates, I want to cut this down to the Daffodil Delight layer, so it's going to be cut down quite a bit, So that's the size that it's going to be cut. You might be able to see it a bit better like that. And so I'll just cut it down. So first of all, I will just trim a clean edge off this side. Excellent. So all those pieces are they've all had a nice haircut, which is really quite good. Now this side, I'll cut that down and give the haircut across the top. And now I'll do it the same thing for this side. Excellent. Wow, I really like how it looks with all these different colors. And I like how it looks just a bit off center too, which I didn't even plan to do that, but I really like how it looks. Very good. So this is going to be stuck down onto this piece, which if you have our templates, that's the Flirty Flamingo layer. Now, one of the things that we have here is the ribbon, and this is the ribbon, this is the Bumblebee Geschenkband in color ribbon. So that comes in all 5 of the in colors. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim that. Oops, wrong one. I'll trim that and I will stick that down. I'll just use a few glue dots with that. So all I really want to cover is the line between the two, and I want it to be straight, of course. And I'll just put that around the other side and around the other side. And that's great. And so that's how it will look. Now let's do the stamping. This is, I'm going to use the Stamparatus for that. Now, I could just stamp it onto some cardstock, but why would I when I can use the Stamparatus? Actually don't need that layer. Now, this is the one I'm going to use, You Are My Sunshine. So I will just put that down. Use a magnet to keep the image in place, and I'll just pick that up. Excellent. Now I'm going to stamp it in cinnamon cider, as I mentioned. So I'll just do that. Sorry about that bumpity bump bump bump. And I think that looks pretty good. Now, I don't know if you can see, yes you can see. You can see that that text there is black. And all that I did was used my Stampin' Write marker and I just coloured it directly onto the stamp. And that's what I'm going to do here. Now the rest of the stamp might still have some brown ink on it, cinnamon cider ink on it. That's okay. This lines up exactly on, so it will just restamp it, which is fine. And so you can see that that just gives it a bit of interest. And that's it. That's pretty simple, isn't it? So I'll just move that away. Now to cut this out, I used the Layering Ovals Framelits dies. When you buy them, they might look a bit different. This is an older version of the dies that we offer. And the size that I'm going to use, I believe it's, no, not that one. I believe it's that one. So that just sits like that. And the great thing about these dies is that there are coordinating accents, and that's the size that I used for the outside. So I'll just go and cut those, and I'll be back in a sec. So I've just done that. Now let's assemble our card. So that just sits like that. Wow, using the cinnamon cider is excellent. I really like how that looks. So now let's get to assembling that. So I'll just stick this down. Looks good. Now I'll stick that down with dimensionals because, of course. Just there. Excellent. Now on this version here, I've got a couple of these little dots here, and they are called the 2020 to 22 in color enamel dots, and they come in each of the 5 in colors. So I will get my take your pick tool for this, because I like how it picks them up and how it puts them down. So I'll put one there. I could use one in, oh no, what I'll do is I'll put it on the different color. Yeah, good. And one more, and I'll make sure I put it on a yellow piece of designer series paper, so it stands out. That's really neat. I love using those different colors, so I'm happy about that. Now I'll stick that down using dimensionals, and I'll stick that down using dimensionals as well, because why not? So I'll just stick this one down. Very nice. And now I will stick this down to here. There we are. So which version do you like? To be honest, I think I like this one better. I really liked this one, but I like how this one turned out. So, of course, Kylie would be very mad at me if I didn't decorate the inside as well. So I'll just grab some cardstock, have some pre-cut cardstock that goes inside the card. And I'll just add a few bits and pieces stamps. So I'll add this little heart in the corner like that. I'll add the star. No, I won't add the star. Yeah, I'll add the star. Why not? And I'll add this little whatever it is as well. And if I grab a bigger block, I can just pick them up. I'll move it in a bit and I'll stamp them all at once. Excellent. So let me just stick that down, move that out of the way. So there is our card for today. Thank you very much for joining us. If you live in Australia and you want to buy any of these products featured on the video today, by all means you can click on the shopping links. If you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with and you would like a copy of the current catalogue, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to get one to you. Of course, if you live in Australia. So again, thank you very much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.